Well, despite what is actually said in the title, I don't actually think that scientists are so stupid that they miss the obvious. But it seems to be what a lot of people that deny certain parts of science seem to think. You know, like I mentioned before, when you come to the infinite regress problem, I keep hearing it as if, the cosmologists, the quantum physics, astrophysicists, and whatnot, didn't think of the infinite regress problem. That somehow somebody found it on the internet and is able to completely debunk what the scientists understand because only they were able to figure this out. And a lot of the same people would also, you know, have issues with creationists using the same argument when they talk about, thermodynamics. You know, and they say, well, the scientists are so stupid they didn't figure out that evolution is impossible because of thermodynamics. As if that hasn't already been thought of. You know, and see this a lot. That armchair scientists look at something and then automatically assume that the scientists have never figured this out. And I guess both sides do it to some extent, but it just seems to me that, you know, it's obviously an argument for ignorance, but it's also a bit egotistical, it seems to me, to assume that only I just figured out this thing that nobody else has figured out. And then they post it on the internet as if it's this big, huge epiphany. I mean, the scientists possibly may not have figured it out, but you're probably best off looking into it first. Don't just assume because you think something causes a problem that it actually does. Science is about learning. Scientists are constantly trying to debunk their own theories and ideas. So of course they will look at these things and see if these things actually are the problem people think they are. You know. And that's what's kind of important is you remember that while you may actually have figured something out, chances are you haven't. So double check. It's like Michael Behe when he was saying, "Oh, the bacterium flagellum has no evidence for it. The cascade effect has no evidence for it, and whatnot." And he's shown books, entire large libraries of books that have been written explaining these things and showing the evidence for. Just because your personal ignorance of a subject, doesn't mean that these things aren't known, or at least have explanations for them. You may disagree with the explanations, which is fine, but don't just assume that, that there aren't explanations, or that scientists haven't solved these problems already. If you can think of any other examples other than, Michael Behe and intelligent design or stuff like that where this is used. These are the three that I kind of remember a lot of times. So comment below if you have any other examples.